Namaskaram, my dear friends, I'm back again. Today I'm going to share with you my experience of Ecstasy of Enlightenment in Philadelphia. So where to begin? From the very beginning. Let me just say though, my experience of EOE is not what I expected it to be. But then again, expectations will always ruin what there is to experience. But despite that though, I'm really glad I went. So yes, from the start, I really did not intend to attend EOE. However, there was so much talk about it from meditators in the center, from friends that I've met throughout my journey. And EOE was highly talked about. Like, oh, are you going to EOE? Are you going to EOE? Oh, there's one in San Francisco. Oh, now there's one in Philadelphia. You have to go. So I'm like, oh, so much FOMO. So I had to go. And you know what I realized? From 2021, 22, to 23, I really did not have the chance to attend a lot of programs because I was in Korea and it was just so hard to get out of country to attend programs. I didn't have enough resources, meaning money, to be able to afford the travel plus the program fees. And my job then was really demanding. I couldn't just leave for work, whereas now, my coworkers can actually cover down and take care of the things that I needed to do. So yes, I feel like this year, now that I'm in the US, I'm able to attend a lot of programs and satsangs and just gathering because the situation allows me to. So yes, because I decided that I was going to attend a program, San Francisco was just not gonna happen because it was too far. From Orlando to San Francisco, traveling coast to coast was just, it would have been fun, but it was just not going to happen for me. So okay, closest thing was Philadelphia. First thing, I checked flights. The flight was only like $100 round trip. Great! No check-in bags needed, no hand carry needed, just a personal item bag. That's all I needed. So it was only $100.97 round trip. Getting the ticket, thank goodness for fellow meditators. Special mention to Piotr for giving me the 50% discount for my EOE program fee. Flights checked, program fee checked. Now I had to request leave from my boss, which wasn't so hard because I made it right away, submitted, explained why I wanted to go, and I think he's kind of supportive in my journey towards liberation or the spiritual path, so he approved it. Actually, the Samyama is a side story because he hasn't approved that yet because there's so much hurdles, but I'm gonna work at it. Anyway, so going back to EOE. So leave has been submitted and approved. Perfect. I was looking at hotels where to stay and my gosh, per night it was like over $200, sometimes like $300 around the area, and it was just insane. So I sent a message on the group chat if there was anybody willing to share a room, and thank goodness Arti responded to me, and she was a fellow meditator that I met during my BSP. So yes, everything lined up for me to be able to go. So on the day of travel, the 14th, I was planning on driving to a parking lot, get a shuttle to the airport. However, this is always my fault or my incompetence where I would never really know how much time to plan for the travel, for the shuttle travel, for check-in, etc. So I felt like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. And then I started calculating I won't have enough time to make it in time, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna Uber. So I Ubered, which was fast. Checking in was quick. I was on the plane, yay! And then I arrived in Philadelphia. One thing that really helped me because I attended the pre-Ecstasy of Enlightenment webinar, and it was actually really helpful because it talked about where I needed to go in terms of which entrance of the convention center I need to enter to. I was looking at public transportation prior to even boarding the plane, so I actually tried to figure out if I could use a public transportation, and the train system was really efficient. So I did that. Good thing I looked that ahead of time. So I rode a train, got off of, they recommended Jefferson, but I got off at Suburban Station, and I think it was like a similar distance in terms of walk. And because after landing, I already figured out how to go about public transportation, I did not waste any time. I landed at like 9:44. The travel time from the airport to Suburban Station was approximately maybe 25 to 30 minutes. So given that the train left at like 2:44 or something. Why am I saying 2? I mean like 9:44. So I think right after I landed, I zoomed out to the train station, bought a ticket, hopped on. Thank God I made that train, and the train was on time. And I made it to the convention center, before everything was shut down. So I was able to check in. Yay! And what was great about being able to check in the day before is I was able to find a seat close to Sadhguru's catwalk stage. Yay! I know I bought the ticket really late. I didn't have enough funding to do the preferred seating, so I'm like, okay, I'll just do general. Besides, it doesn't matter where I am, Sadhguru's there for me. But I think the only goal for me was to be able to check in the day before to get better seating, because it's first come, first serve. So I got lucky. After checking in, I met with my friend Arti, and then we walked together to our hotel. It was nice. And I was able to sleep. She had to volunteer the next day, so she woke up early, so she did her sadhana real early before she head out. I actually did my sadhana a little later, but I knew I had to finish before 9, because from 9 to 9:30 was the time I allowed myself to be able to eat, because that was what they said. You have to stop eating at 9:30 because you have to be at empty stomach condition at 1 o'clock to start Shambhavi. Because I'm also preparing for Samyama, finding food was challenging, but not really challenging because I have to find raw, yummy fruits. Not challenging because the grocery store will always have bananas. And thank God Trader Joe's was there. I think it's like 26 cents a piece of bananas. I got 2. And my palate was just craving for something salty, so I got some like pita bread crackers and munch a few before the program started. So while on the way up to the center, they gave us directions on where to go, etc. And there was a line that formed right outside the entrance of the hall, because of course everyone wants to get good seating. So I was there. I used my shoe bag and my jacket to save my spot in line, and I was roaming around the Isha Life booths and all the other Isha Foundation booths. And then I have another friend who recognized me, Lakshmi, and we just bonded. And she was actually able to help me because I had some questions I wanted to ask Sadhguru, and I prepared for my questions in the rare chance that he would answer them or have the volunteers actually select me to ask the question. But first off, I didn't get to ask the question because there was no Q&A portion. I think it's just different for every program. But the questions that I had, Lakshmi was able to answer. I didn't even have to ask Sadhguru. Sadhguru allowed Lakshmi to be there to be able to clear my confusion within. She was just like a mother to me, A mother to me, a mother to the earth. Thank you, Lakshmi. Namaskaram. So after my encounter with Lakshmi, I then went back to my line because it was almost time to enter the hall at 10. It was like at 10 a.m. So when they started to let people in, I sprinted. I sprinted so fast. I went into my zone. I still have my entrance bracelet. I was in General Romeo 6. It was an even number. So the even numbers were closer to the catwalk stage of Sadhguru. So I was closer to the end. I think the zone before the last zone, because the last zone was like 8. I was just the zone before the last, and I was able to sit right next to the catwalk stage. And again, I saved my spot with my jacket and my shoe bag, and I roamed around, met some other meditators before the program started. And when the program started, so it's just amazing because Sadhguru goes on about talking and talking and talking before he leads us into meditation. And it just dawned on to me, Sadhguru does cover the 4 paths of yoga in all his program. He builds up the emotion, our thought, with all his talk. And then after our emotions and our thoughts are set in the right condition, then he does the meditation, which I think is the Kriya part of it. And then there's always some dancing and whatever celebration is involved in all the programs that Sadhguru does. So it really encompasses all of the 4 paths of yoga. But just Sadhguru's dedication and devotion to us, my God, you guys, we can never miss it. Because he takes all this time just to condition our emotions and our thoughts with such long talks. It's like very, very subtle, wonderful comedy just to make us feel good before we enter states of ecstasy of enlightenment. And it seemed like there were 2 parts to it. The first part was, again, conditioning of the thought, conditioning of the emotions, then to meditation. And the first part of the meditation was like cleansing, was like releasing a lot of the negative thoughts, emotions, feelings there was in me. And after that session ended, I felt so light, so relaxed, and it was time to eat. He asked everyone to just have a relationship with our food, eat in silence, and not talk to anybody, not look at anybody. And I did just that because, that's our guru asking. And after dinner, went back into the program so everyone was full. Then again, Sadhguru reconditioned our thoughts, our emotions with his talk, also allowing the food to digest in preparation for the meditation again. And this time it was really like the core of the program, allowing us to feel what it's like to be enlightened. Maybe not fully or completely or always, but even just a touch and the ecstasy involved in it. It was such a wonderful feeling. And again, this dance and the celebration as always at Guruji. And you know what I realized after doing this program? In comparison to Devi's consecration in Tennessee, I was really out of control. I was going crazy. It's a lot of involuntary movements, some involuntary noise. But this time there was not any. Granted, there were a lot of people who were screaming and crawling and doing things. Well, because it's Sadhguru. He has that intense, immense, whatever he has for everyone to soak into. And it's causing people to have this heightened states. And I realized there were moments where I was about to, but this time I was more focused. I felt like I had more control. And when he asked us to meditate, I was able to actually focus, do the meditation with clarity, performing every action as precisely as I could. And I thought that was another breakthrough. Like what Sadhguru said, don't seek the same feeling because it's bound to be different as we are progressing in our spiritual journey. So this time around, I felt like there was more focus in me and more stability. And it was such a wonderful feeling. Another thing too I noticed, when a program starts, the rules are always the rules. We can't get up to go to the bathroom just because we have to wait for breaks. And there are people who was standing around going to the bathroom, and Sadhguru even called them out hey, walking people, why are you walking? And they just kept walking. I'm why are they walking? Why are they not listening to Sadhguru? The disrespect I can't take. But anyways, I shouldn't be bothered by it. All I know is they're missing a lot. They're missing so much. They don't get it. But anyway, so Sadhguru still continued the program so gracefully as he did. And, oh, by the way, he walked the catwalk 3 times. Oh my God, every moment. I think it was 3 times or 2 times. I can't even remember. But it's he has to walk down and walk back up. So it's that's 2 times, right? So maybe he just walked 2 times. I really think it was 3, but I think it was just really 2. But it doesn't matter. All the time. Every time he walked, it was just bah, bah, bah. It's crying a lot, unexplained. And I feel I wanted to touch him. Oh, this time there was actually human barriers to protect Sadhguru. There probably was an incident in San Francisco, I don't know, that led to the creation of human barriers to protect Sadhguru. So my longing to touch my dear Guru was not necessarily fulfilled. But then again, it was just immense. It was more than enough that, the longing to touch him just dissolved. I really didn't need to. Sadhguru was there all the way. It pervaded, it penetrated, it lasted. I can still feel it. Oh, Sadhguruji. So when the program ended, there was dancing. There was performance from this Isha Sanskriti. And you could really feel, Sadhguru's love for me. The immensity of Sadhguru's love. It was so immense that despite having 6,200 people in that hall, more or less, I didn't feel alone. I didn't feel neglected. I felt loved. Loved more than any of the love I've ever felt in this world. That's how much Sadhguru is devoted. That's how much Sadhguru loves. So immense, so graceful, so wonderful. All you could really do is soak in it. But programs will end. It is up to us to prolong the feeling, to hold on to the feeling, hold on to Sadhguru's promise. And coming home, I have a sense of purpose. Not that I didn't have before, but the spiritual path is, established more. I think in everything that I've been doing in this journey has just really strengthened, established as to the reason why I'm doing this. And definitely in that program, it was like a confirmation, like a renewal of Sadhguru's promise, and experiencing it just so wonderful. After the program, I went home. I woke up the next day, did my sadhana, walked in Chinatown because it was so close to the convention center. Went to the airport for my 6 p.m. flight. It got delayed to 3 a.m. and then it got delayed to 8 a.m. So I did not show up to work on time. But it's okay. This life always happens. Highly recommend EOE. Do attend one because just disregard the program. Just being in Sadhguru's presence, in Sadhguru's blanket of grace is more than you could ever ask for in this lifetime. May you all experience His grace and be under His blanket. Namaskaram. So yes, I'm glad I went. I will see you all next time. Bye.